ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Hare Krishna, welcome to our ISKCON Bula official YouTube channel. Today I am going to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam 3rd canto on 15th chapter, text 20. So here, description of the kingdom of God, Vaikuntha kingdom is being described. Yat sankulam haripadande matradishtair Vaidurjamaragata hema maidhyamane Jesam brihadkatitada smita savimukya Krishnat manamna raja adadhu utsmayadaihi. That means the inhabitants of Vaikuntha travel in their airplanes made of lapis lazuli, emerald and gold. Although crowded by their consorts, who have large hips and beautiful smiling faces, they cannot be stimulated to passion by their mirth and beautiful charms. So, Srila Prabhupada Maharaj in his purport says that ornaments made of gold bedecked with jewels are achieved not by working hard but by the benedictions of the Lord. In other words, devotees in the Vaikuntha world or even in this material world cannot be power-stricken as is sometimes supposed. It is also stated that in the Vaikuntha world the consorts of the residents are many times more beautiful than we can find in this material world, even in the higher planets. It is especially mentioned here that women's large hips are very attractive and they stimulate man's passion. But the wonderful feature of Vaikuntha is that although the women have large hips and beautiful faces and are decorated with ornaments of emeralds and jewels, the men are so absorbed in Krishna consciousness that the beautiful bodies of the women cannot attract them. In other words, there is enjoyment of the association of the opposite sex, but there is no sexual relationship. The residents of Vaikuntha have a better standard of pleasure, so there is no need of sex pleasure. So sex pleasure is there only in this material world. It is not actual pleasure, it is only pain. Thought of as pleasure. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his purport says, अभी तो having described the beauty of the surrounding gardens, he describes the beauty of the city in the center. Vaikuntha is filled with airplanes made of gold, obtained simply by surrender to the Lord's feet, by bhakti, not by jnana or karma, even though performed perfectly. So Siddha Swami in his purport says that Puna Vaikuntham eva visinasti. Again description of Vaikuntha is there. So in this way we find some descriptions of the Vaikuntha world. One day we will have to go there. Those who are fortunate, they will go. And Prabhupada Maharaj says, go back to God in this very life. So I am going to speak some more verses also. Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 21st chapter, text 17. This is Kardam's prayer to the Supreme Lord. Loka loka nugatan pasunsta itva sitaste charanatapatram parasparam tadguna bada siddho piyusa nirupe nirupita dehadharmya. However, persons who have given up stereotyped world affairs and the beastly followers of these affairs, and who have taken shelter of the umbrella of your lotus feet by drinking the intoxicating nectar of your qualities and activities and discussions with one another, can be freed from the primary necessities of the material body. So, Prabhupada Maharaj in his purport says that conditioned souls are under the spell of material energy or eternal time, past, present, and future. But as soon as one engages in Krishna consciousness, he transcends the limits of past and present and becomes situated in the eternal activities of the soul. One has to act in terms of the Vedic conjunctions in order to enjoy material life. But those who have taken to the devotional service of the Lord are not afraid of the regulations of this material world. Such devotees do not care for the conventions of material activities. They boldly take to that shelter which is like an umbrella against the sun of repeated birth and death. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his purport says, Nanu lokaha pitradaya tada jnano bhartinaha putra putra भ्राता देश्च लोकतो धर्म धर्मतश्च यशस्विनः सुखिनश्च दृश्यते किमिति तान् सकामत्वान् निन्दसि. The father, their sons and brothers who follow their instructions gain fame and happiness from following material dharma. Why do you criticize their material desires? What fame and happiness do the detached devotees have, giving sorrows to their fathers for which you praise them? So 2 verses respond. In 2 verses, this question is answered. Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 23rd chapter, text 2. Visrambhenatma Sautena Gauravena Damena Cha Sushrusaya Saudena Vacha Madhurya Cha Bho. O Vidura, devotee served her husband with intimacy and great respect, with control of the senses, with love, and with sweet words. Prabhupada Maharaj in his purport says, these are 2 important processes in serving the husband or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Visrambhena means with intimacy, and Gauravena means with great reverence. The husband is a very intimate friend, therefore the wife must render service just like an intimate friend, and at the same time she must understand that the husband is superior in position, and thus she must offer him all respect. A man's psychology and woman's psychology are different. As constituted by bodily frame, a man always wants to be superior to his wife, and a woman, as bodily constituted, is naturally inferior to her husband. Thus, the natural instinct is that the husband wants to post himself as a superior to the wife, and this must be observed. Even if there is some wrong in the part of the husband, the wife must tolerate it, and thus there will be no misunderstanding between husband and wife. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his purport says, of course there is no purport by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, so I am going to discuss the next verse, that is verse 3. Visrujya kamam dhamam cha द्वेषं लोभम अभम मदम अप्रमत्तोद्यता नित्यं त्यज्यांसम अतो सत. That means working saintly and diligently, she pleased her very powerful husband, giving up all lust, pride, envy, greed, sinful activities, and vanity. Prabhupada Maharaj in the purport says, Kardamuni is great by spiritual qualification. Such a husband is called Tejyansam, most powerful. The wife should not be proud of her parental position. She must always be submissive to the husband and must give up all vanity. So, Siddha Swami in his purport says, Dambham means kapatam. Dambham, this is duplicity. And Agham, Nishidha Charanam, prohibited activities. Tejyam, Shramati, Tejasvinam. So Tejas means very with Teja means with brightness. So I am going to speak also some other verses.